head right now because I can only imagine how many people we're losing. This goddamn nonsense. I'm appalled.
Hey, we're gonna take two on that.
No, yeah, well, of course we'll take two. I'd take two. I'd start over if I were you too. Shit, come on, John.
Well,
How the
howdy.
phone looks like.
I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
And this is a man who introduces himself, the eater of wings, the counter of numbers, the walker of steps, to get his number of steps. My boy Pete in Southern California.
And you're listening to Two-Sided, where every episode I challenge Pete with a bit of the two sides of life, the fun and the serious.
Yeah, the right and the wrong, the punctual for work and the late, and oops, wrong stream kind of guy.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
No bueno.
How you doing?
Look at this. How am I doing? How am I doing, John? How do I look like I'm doing?
You look good. You got a little bandana going on. You got a.
I'm doing nothing but just thinking about my phone, my bandana, my booze, my lost friend John. He's riding the subway with no hammer, no cape, no backup. I've seen Warriors. I know how this is. They're going to shoot him at the big gang meet. I've known this movie. John, I was worried. Sorry. I'm better now. It's not me.
My boy Pete's been chopping it up on his own for the past hour. We're going to have that on our Patreon later, so you're definitely going to want to check that out.
Yeah, that's also going to be on the intro of our Farmers Only, where we're going to date some real badass farmers. And it'd be like, wow, these guys really know what they're talking about. They talk about oats and bales of hay and all that good stuff. I don't know. I blacked in and out. I maybe did talk about oats and bales of hay. I don't know, John. Time will tell.
We got a couple of messages, and we're going to jump straight into our first segment.
Perfect.
So he gets a phone call, it goes through vibrate, and his brain rattles. What is that going to do? Is that going to make you be all, like, pixelated and shit? Because, I mean, somebody call him. I want to hear this for reals.
Well, mainly it's going to be not as bad as when I'm sitting on the spin cycle of the dryer when we do the lightning rounds, because Daddy needs his little yummy yum pick-me-ups. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What do you mean brush your beard? It's freaking hot out. I thought you were going to shave that off already. Slacker. Just playing. You can stay fuzzy. It's all good.
She nailed it. She nailed it. Like, yeah. No, I did say that, and I was like, yeah, I still got a couple more days this month. Like, yeah, basically, it's because I'm lazy as fuck. So I was like, I'm going to go down to the barber. I'm going to get it nice and groomed, so it's like nice. Like, all right, now I can like go ride a horse with no shirt and like smoke a cigarette and like be a model. You know what I mean? Like for the plus size man, chunky man in a field, that kind of a poster. But I was like, dude, I'm not going to go do that shit. And then I got my shitty razor and I was starting like, ugh, it should have paid more money. I should have called Moss. Like, it was like, yeah. So I'm going to do it, but it's all going to be haphazard. And I think it's going to be booze inspired. And I think we're going to get, yeah, it's going to be this weekend because I got vacation. My boy Pete says we're going to shave and get hammered. Not in that order, but we're going to do
it. And maybe get some better headphones, because right now, my boy Pete has a bandana wrapped around his head with the phone attached to it.
It's not even the headphones. I promise you, right when we started talking shit about my phone, about it's the same button and this, and she's like, did you buy a new phone? Did you fix it? I'm like, well, I fixed it. And now this phone, like every headphone I plug in has that. So it's the headphone jack. I'm like, dude, I got to go through Mint Mobile. I got to get a fucking.
Have you cleared the lint from the headphone jack?
I don't have lint. I have no hair on my body or in my house.
Or in your pocket? Where you put
no, none in my pocket. I don't use pants. Where we're going, we don't need pants.
Speaking of where we're going, let's go to the first lightning round.
Round! Time to get down! Fuck yeah! Be all down drinking! John's been staking! We're gonna bang on the lightning round! Sorry, I had a lot of time to make up songs when I was in the closet waiting for John. Get back in the closet. Ugh, this guy.
Bye, lightning round guy. Good to see you.
Bye, John! Don't be late next time!
Yeah.
He just won't let it. He's talk about being a dead horse. That lightning guy, am I right? Yikes.
Anyone knows that our first lightning round of the episode is always a standard Q&A. First, we're going to do a quick shot. Cheers to you, Pete. Cheers to everyone listening.
John. Cheers to everyone listening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Are you ready for the questions, my boy Pete?
Oh, I'm so ready, John. I'm so ready.
Have you ever been a beer drinker?
Yes.
For how long or for what years of your life?
Oof. Unfortunate years of my life. The fat years, we call them. Can you believe these are the skinny years? Welcome to the days of our lives. In college, I was mainly liquor, and then I went to beer. When I was with Hank and Wes and Nate first, then I went to the Great and Spacious Building. From then on, with beer, like just fucking shit beer, Bud Light, Coors Light, whatever the light bullshit was.
Yep,
it's a true appreciation. And then I met you guys in Arizona, in the Valley, and we had the High Life, the champagne of beers, because you guys live it up down there. Then when I came to Southern California, I was still on the beer kick, but then it got into craft beers, where it's IPAs, and I did like, oh yeah, IPAs. I never liked them. You just drink them fast. It's like a shit drink. You just drink it fast. Like if I drink 2 of these, I'll feel fine, and I can drink a third one and be funny. Uh-oh. Behind the curtain.
That's right. I don't think anyone really likes IPAs. I think it's the big conspiracy. There's a Miller Lite commercial. You might remember it from like the 90s, where a guy drinks a beer and then he turns into an old man with like a wrinkly face, and they're like, "Oh, bitter beer face."
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you remember those commercials? Yeah, that's pre-IPA, and now they're like, "Oh yeah, a great bitter finish. It's going to be great for you."
Yeah, no, but it's a grapefruit bitter. I would much rather prefer the Swedish bikini team parachuting into my lake. And twins! That's the beer I want to drink if I have to drink beer. But now I don't. Now I'm an adult, John. My body is a temple. I don't have room for all those extra calories. They're saved for hot wings and anything that has cheese filled, anything, or cheese sauce. If I have those 2 things, then I need to save those calories. So it's all liquor, because it's like eating celery. It's like the more drunk you get, the more calories you burn, because you're pouring, and it's like inverted.
Candy makes you dandy, but liquor is quicker.
No, but yes, but no, but no.
What was your favorite beer back then when you were a beer drinker?
Like a beer drinker, like a
it doesn't have to be your most common one. It was the one you liked.
I like the Wipeout from Great White. That was a good one. It was like it wasn't an IPA, but it was a something lager. So it had the bite to it, had the alcohol percentage, but it wasn't had that shit finish. It was more like a lager. Like right now, I can drink Tecates all day. Like that's not drinking. I would prefer Tecate because like Bud Light or Coors Light is like, I can still drink those all day, but
Yeah, that Tecate's great.
yeah, no, and it's not like you're getting drunk. Like we can crush a case and like, I'm good. Let's go drinking. Is that a problem? I don't know. I call them
No, that's
opportunities.
Mexico.
It's a Mexican opportunity. Perfect.
So if you had to drink one beer, not allowed your liquor, only one kind of beer, what would it be?
Only one kind?
Yeah, not a style, a specific, like it is Sam Adams, or it is, Boston Lager, or Yunling, Black and Tan, or Left-Handed Milk Stout, whatever. Guinness.
Ugh. It's a goddamn meal in a can.
Love
Oof.
Guinness. Love it.
Yeah, I would have to say, just because I don't have a fucking taste for beer. My neighbor gave me beers. I got 2 Guinnesses. I got a red from Rebel, and I got a Corona. I drank them. I don't want to be rude.
Right.
Polite. I had to drink them in front of her when she gave them to me. I don't want to be rude.
As quick as you could, like at once.
I want to be polite. Yeah. In some countries, it's a shun if you don't get hammered in front of your guests.
That's right.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like them. So I'll have to say, like at this point in life, I would say just go straight up to Tecate because it's easy. You can mix it with other boozes. You can like put tomato juice with it and vodka. You can put orange soda in it. Yup, delicious. You can shotgun them easy. They're not difficult to drink warm. They're great at kids' parties. They're good for anniversary presents, wedding gifts, bat mitzvahs. You can get them at your local Five and Dime or your Wawa. On sale now. Tell them my boy Pete sent you. Get that discount.
So Tecate, you mentioned a bit. Tecate is fantastic. I agree with you on all of that. What was the one that you said was your favorite of the craft beers? It was a not White Claw. No, that's a seltzer.
No, that's if I'm gonna get white girl wasted. Mm-hmm. I don't want to meet anyone. I just want to put my purse in the middle and dance with everybody. Okay, let's just dance and not meet anyone. Okay, we've had a long week. Here's to us, White Claws. Wipeout. The Wipeout by Lost Coast.
Where's that? Lost Coast?
It's somewhere, I want to say, it's on the coast. It was here for a while, but then we misplaced it. Hence the term Lost Coast.
Fantastic.
All right, folks, our warm-up back for next week's Two-Sided Pod is my boy Pete for an hour drinking by himself. Things turn out really interesting when people stop being nice and start being real. The Two-Sided Pod. Hour and a half late every Thursday here on the Stereo app.
And since we started 3 hours later, it's actually 4.5 hours late, but who's counting?
Right, and that's in your time zone. Think about when it is in Narnia.
Belfast.
Oh, should I take a message?
We're gonna hit some messages, and we're gonna jump into our first major segment of the evening.
All right, but should I hit him? You got him?
Do you hear me?
Yummy.
Do you hear me, John L. Peacock? I'm gonna put you all money in the mail. I'm gonna force feed and enjoy.
Okay. Well, thank you, Leon.
Oh man, I'm just getting good.
And speaking of force feeding, I'm going to force feed you our first segment of the evening, which is America's Memorial Day.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to force feed you a small shot, John. Nonsense, my good sir. I've only begun to defile myself. Folks, thanks for listening. If you like what you see, if you can't believe what you heard, we're here on Spotify, Apple Pod. We have presences all over the place. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have our stereo show every Thursday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. On those Thursdays, we go live on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube live right now, God bless you, because it's all an optical illusion. The camera puts on 20 gingers and 14 beards. It's a true fact. It's a whole lot thing on the research. Anyway, hit that subscribe, hit that alert button. Don't be afraid to tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your parole officer. We'll be here next week for you. John, let's drink to you. Cheers, mate.
Here's to you.
Big mate.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Originally called Decoration Day, from the early tradition of decorating graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags, Memorial Day is a day of remembrance of those who have died in the service of our country. It was first widely observed on May 30th, 1868, to commemorate the sacrifice of the Civil War soldiers by proclamation of General John A. Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of former Union sailors and soldiers.
Decoration Day. Decoration Day. It should be like I feel like that would be a Martha Stewart special about Memorial Day. And that'll be great. And we'll just have this, and it'll be nice. And we'll be.
It's a good thing.
Stewart. It's a good thing. Decoration Day. Don't be afraid to place flowers on graves. But if you're going to place a flower on a grave, make sure it looks nice. It's a good thing. General Logan would have wanted it that way. Hmm?
Nowadays, Memorial Day honors veterans of all wars, but its roots are in America's deadliest conflict, the Civil War. Approximately 620,000 soldiers died, about 2/3 from disease.
Yeah, dude. Like at that point, but which is awful. Okay, I'm not trying to belittle that war or belittle the thing, and but at that point in life, like you left a shitty town that was rampant with disease anyway, and you went on the road with 20,000 dudes, 5,000 dudes, you're gonna get more disease and get fucked up. It's just like you could be a circus not going to fight wars, and you'd still have more diseases than in town, and like a third of those people would die. At that point,
yeah.
It's just that there's no sanitation, there was no hygiene, there was no, and I know a thing or two about both, John. I may not have dreams, hopes, or ambitions, but I have a toilet bowl that's springtime fresh.
I think the Civil War is one of the last, if not the last, of the American wars that was really that trench, medieval style warfare. That was just, you're in the muck, you're campaigning for weeks or months to siege a town. It definitely shifted in the 1900s. Maybe World War I had a bit of that aspect, but by World War II, it was so much more advanced. We had so much of a better,
Well, there was still trench warfare, but there were still bunkers and stuff, and they still had trenches, but it wasn't trench warfare as hardcore as World War I was. There was trench warfare a lot.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Our Civil War, as far as hand-to-hand grinding in the mud and muck on fields through the trenches after that, yeah, that was no bueno.
Right.
We've gotten so good at killing,
no cars, no planes that shifted things up, right? We couldn't get to a hospital quickly if we were wounded.
We couldn't attack enemies from farther distance or bomb them or run them down. It was horses. Right. You had your cavalry. You had whoever is on mount, whatever. Ugh. Are we okay? We're doing war now? God damn it, John.
Okay, so the quote, the 30th of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet, churchyard in the land, General Logan proclaimed.
Yeah, it's good. What? Okay, so that was May 30, 1868. I'm trying to think of, I want to look that up. What was going on right there politically, socio-economically, globally? Was there a reason why we're having a memorial, a bandstand, a thing? Or was it a specific anniversary to the end of something that was soon by? Because nowadays I'm suspect of anyone who's like, oh, let's have a memorial. Do you really? Or are you trying to do something for some other reason? I don't know you, man.
So it does start. It does start before then. Just looking at that commemoration before we jump back in time a little bit. That first national commemoration, former Union General and sitting Ohio Congressman James Garfield made a speech at Arlington's National Cemetery, after which 5,000 participants helped to decorate the graves of more than 20,000 Union and Confederate soldiers who were buried there. And so that's where the real roots of the holiday itself, though the not celebration, but the act of Memorial Day has roots earlier than that.
So so Garfield was doing it. So it was more of that was trying to mend the ties, mend the gaps. Hey, we're all one. This is a day to remember everyone. We are all one country. We do everyone the same. We all have a name in Project Mayhem.
We all lost somebody, right?
Right. So at this point, it's not about remembering those. It's remembering those, but moving on and healing, and not taking those Hatfield and McCoy wounds on further to hurt ourselves and stop this growth that we have as a nation. We're going to try to come together, unify, and move forward.
Yep.
Okay. So General Logan was kind of reiterating that, keeping that, okay.
And Garfield, who would become president, was a major participant and founder of this.
Okay.
The national event galvanized efforts to honor and remember fallen soldiers that began with local observances at burial grounds in several towns throughout the United States following the end of the Civil War, such as May 1st, 1865, the gathering in Charleston, South Carolina, organized by free slaves to pay tribute and give proper burial to Union troops. Many say this is the first real moment of honoring that would be considered a Memorial Day.
And that was where? Which state?
South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston, May 1st, 1865.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't wait to the 30th, like General Logan wanted, because good.
Right, that he wants it several years later, right.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, President Lyndon B. Johnson proclaimed Waterloo, New York, as the quote-unquote birthplace of Memorial Day because it began a formal observance on May 5th, 1866.
See, fuck all that. Like anytime that anyone declares someone as something of a something because this is now I recognize it, it's like, okay, now when someone recognizes you as a city state, as a country, oh, I would extradite Sudetenland. Like, oh, okay, I would recognize you as you're a country now. Like, what the, okay, I don't need you to tell. We have been doing this. It's yours, Waterloo. You're fun. You get it.
But we gave you a flag, so therefore this is the beginning of your countryhood.
Yes, this might be your Waterloo.
In 1873, New York was the first state to designate Memorial Day as a legal holiday. And by the late 1800s, many more cities and communities observed Memorial Day, and several states had declared it as a legal holiday. So it was a trickle effect, right?
Yeah, everything starts in New York. Memorial Day, COVID, good stuff in the U.S. No, that's my joke, John. You're the gateway to everything. Subway violence, all the good stuff. What else you want? Yeah, I'm coming to visit. I'm bringing my hammer and my mask. Not for the same purpose.
Right.
One's for safety, one's for safety.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Who?
What?
In
Anyway,
1971,
1875.
In 1971, federal law changed the observance of the holiday to the last Monday in May and extended the honor to all soldiers who died in American wars. A few states continued to celebrate a Memorial Day on May 30th, but eventually everyone conformed to it being the last Monday of May.
Sheep, man. We're all sheep.
Today, the national observance of the holiday still takes place at Arlington National Cemetery with the placing of a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier and decorating of each grave with a small American flag. Protocol for flying the American flag on Memorial Day includes raising it quickly to the top of the pole at sunrise, immediately lowering it to half staff until noon, and displaying it at full staff from noon until sunset.
Dude, some of those military things, that's one thing. I don't give a shit what the military does. Well, no, I do. I care a lot what they do. But my thing that I'm most impressed with, I love their flag shit and their color guard, I guess, and any of their parade marches. Like the one, like Jesus, that's like, it's like Step Up with guns. It's the best. And I feel like a pride welling inside me that I don't want to join you, but I want to watch you.
Many veterans of the Vietnam War and relatives and friends of those who fought in that conflict make a pilgrimage to over Memorial Day weekend to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., where they pay their respects to another generation of fallen soldiers.
I got no jokes for those cats, man.
Yeah.
Those are fucking badass heroes who went through some fucking shit. Like they're all heroes. Anyone who's seen, like, I think anyone for their service who's done it, the people who've seen fucking combat, unbelievable. But with Vietnam, like the shit they had to go through and the things, they were the first people who had to see the close-up horrible shit of war and then experience the fucking bullshit of the politicized side of war when it's not correct. And what, when it was back in, World War I, World War II, there was various like, oh, loose lips sink ships. Come on, you two can buy war bonds. And everyone's like, da 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 da. And you could come and kiss women when you come on the street in the middle of New York when they're throwing you a ticker tape parade. And the first time Vietnam comes, like, you're getting your ass beat and getting kicked out of bars and like
getting spat upon at the airport as you're arriving home.
Right. It's just some bullshit, like that was the first time that kind of thing started happening in America.
Yeah.
And it just, because of what we had done, and people weren't fucking dumb anymore. They weren't handling. My therapist says they weren't handling their emotions well.
Yep.
Use your words, not your spit. That's a court order, my boy Pete. All right. This one time, Doc.
My boy Pete has been known to jokingly say, I'm against the troops before the war. But that's the irony of it, because we cannot imagine that. Like the people who are forced into that situation for they have a sense of patriotism that brings them into it, or they need money. They, in dire straits, they are given the choice of prison or being recruited, whatever the case may be. We are for those people, and what they are forced to do, because war. We've talked about it several times on the show. That it creates an atmosphere of chaos and an atmosphere of turning morals completely upside down.
Well, I'm not for the gingers or the press crew. Those two fucking groups in the army can fuck off.
Contractors, gingers, and press corps. Screw all of them.
Yeah, screw them. Anyone who does craft services on set, anyone who's a best boy or thinks they're better than me, boy, fuck you guys. I'll be in my dressing room. That's how I roll at war.
Memorial Day history couldn't be complete without the birth of the, quote, National Moment of Remembrance, end quote, which was a resolution passed in December of 2000, which asked that 3 p.m. local time for all Americans to, quote, voluntarily and informally observe in their own way a moment of remembrance and respect, pausing from whatever they are doing for a moment of silence or listening to taps.
Okay. Hear me out. I'm with it. If I'm somewhere where I hear taps, I'll take a moment. I'll hear that and take the minute of silence afterwards until they blow the all clear or whatever. Right? But then in your mind, right? Okay, where would that happen? Oh, I'm in the military. I'm in Boy Scout camp. I'm in an airport, a baseball game, or I live in a police state. I don't want my baseball game or my airport flight already getting taps going. I'm waiting at gate 7 and taps start playing. Like, I don't even need to take this flight. Moment of silence, be damned. I am staying here in Tampa. Right? So I get the moment of silence. The whole thing is Day of Remembrance, the moment of remembrance. That should be everyone's lives. We should all be remembering what people sacrificed. Yeah. And not just because of these wars, but because we don't want to go to war. We don't want to have troops go across these. We don't want to do these things. And we can simply remember Grandpa, remember all of his friends, remember the people who were before him, and remember all of these people before him, and everyone in every service and every branch from all the way back. If you're just kind of a cognitive person in a cognitive reasoning sense, why is this bad? Well, how do you know it's bad? Look what bad happened. What bad? Look at these names that I can list off. And it's just, you should always be thinking of that in your day-to-day. Read the news. No, this shouldn't be happening. Why? Because I'm remembering all this. Yeah. They call me General Logan where I'm from in my book club.
Officers and soldiers who keep this day of remembrance have told me that you should never say have a happy Memorial Day. It's something, because every other holiday it's like happy birthday, happy New Year's, happy Christmas, but it is not a happy holiday. It is not a celebration. It is a day of remembrance. It is a day of reflection, a day of understanding of the laws and the atrocities that war brings.
Right. And I get that. But I don't know. No, no. I agree. You should never say happy Memorial Day. Just like you go into the maternity ward, you're like, happy Labor Day. I'm like, no one needs you here now. Just saying. It's like poor judgment, Yeah. It's like saying people who don't like birthdays, happy birthday. It's just like, hey, why are you bringing
Or
shit like
Jehovah's
that up?
Witnesses, right?
Right. When I turned Jewish, you were like, Merry Christmas. I'm like, I don't believe in that. And then when I turned back Christian, you're like, Happy Hanukkah. I was like, why you got to bring dreidels into the situation, John? And this year, take a guess what I am, because you'll be wrong. I promise. It's like we do our Rochambeau of Pete's religion at Christmas, so John can be wrong in the card and sentence.
So that's the research I have, but I have a couple of stories of Memorial Day. It's a little close to me because it's near my birthday. It was actually my first birthday was celebrated on it, and
Shut up.
basically
When's your
every
birthday?
6 years. It's Memorial. What day have I kept on saying besides the last Monday of May?
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
Eastern Standard Time, hour and a half later than that. So it'll be 8, 9, 10, maybe 12:42. If it's
Every
Eastern
day I
Greenwich,
talk to you is my birthday.
hey, I'm a little better for having known you every day. I'm also a little more dead inside, but I love it. Wouldn't change it for the world, buddy.
And Memorial Day has a lot of local forms of remembrance. I hadn't known about them. In fact, it's so strange because so many people I talk to, they're like, "Oh yeah, that holiday is coming up. Is it Labor Day or is it Memorial Day?" Because those are the two bookends of summer, right? People are like, "Oh yeah, things happen after one and they happen until the other." Which one is it? Labor Day or Memorial Day? Two completely different holidays, two completely different reasons to have a day, completely different. But people confuse them because they're both cookout days, and one's the beginning and the other's the end of summer, and it's just a thing. And
same with Boxing Day.
oh, is it?
I don't know. I mean, I cook out and drink and watch boxing, so it's kind of the same thing. I think of all the same. I don't know. We don't get it off as a holiday, but we don't get Labor Day either. What are you gonna do?
And they're both Mondays, right? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a weird parallel, but they don't have anything to do with each other. So a beautiful naval officer that I knew, he died at 94 a couple years back. He sounded taps for almost 4,000 military funerals.
What? No, go ahead.
Almost 4,000 military funerals throughout his life after World War II, and he created a Memorial Day event that was called Taps Over Bethlehem in Pennsylvania, where one person would sound taps, and about 15 feet past them, another person would, and there would be a line, an echo of taps happening for about 3 miles from one cemetery to the Memorial Cemetery of Bethlehem, that would end in the middle of the cemetery where the war memorial is. And it was this gorgeous happening of 40 buglers on average each year. It's still happening past his death. They continue the tradition, but
they still haven't made it around. It's still happening, like right now.
It's still happening, right? Yeah. They took a left instead of a right, so they just
it's
kept
like
on
the
going.
Olympic torch. It's like 4 more months, and we can put this bad boy to rest.
Yep.
Thanks, Muhammad Ali. You almost ruined it for all of us.
But it's something that helped me understand the real significance and the real weight behind this, what we call a holiday, which every time I think of holiday, I always think of celebration, but this is a day of remembrance.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I would personally like to move on because I didn't know you were going to talk like this about this kind of stuff, and I have, So if you can move on from this one, it would help me because I don't think that. Yeah, I'm good.
That's okay. If
There's no jokes and there's no jokes about it, and I don't need to go down. And yeah, I'm good.
Well, if you like what you're hearing, currently recording every episode of Two Sided live on the Stereo app every Thursday, starting at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, when we start on time. And it's live streamed on our YouTube channel, Two Sided Podcast. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Two Sided Pod, at TWO Sided Pod for both. And we have a Gmail for anyone to suggest topics for our two-sided show or to come on to our Tuesday open chat stereo shows, twosidedpod@gmail.com. That's twosidedpod@gmail.com.
All of that info can be found in John's bio. All of John's social security numbers, list of fears, and his mother's maiden name can be found in my bio. So feel free to dip into either one and see what you can find.
And if you're listening to us on Spotify and or Apple Pod, we'd love if you could subscribe to us and rate us. If you're rating us, might as well rate us with a 5 stars. It doesn't hurt you. It only helps us.
I was going to say X. Get it be XXX. Maybe Vin Diesel could come down and be like, it's all about family. I don't know.
Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Get a shot.
Get a shot.
For those following at home, please fill your shot glass now.
If we had I don't know how much it takes to press records, like find little tiny records. Can't be that much. It had, right? Like little records and like one-sided records. We make a little tiny picture book with it, and we do our fucking bullshit. Ding, drink at the end, and like pictures of us as cartoons. I'm like, ah. Remember you had like the golden seal books or the golden what are they called? Golden something books? Not golden gram books. There was a shit ton of them that. Oh, someone's gonna know. Golden. I'm gonna look that up. Anyway. Okay, that's weird. I had my booze in the freezer, and so it just thawed, and so I picked it up. It's like, oh, it is. There's a puddle down there. That's good. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, y'all, for listening.
Oh, my God. John, you know how the show's going?
Great.
So good. I was going to text you in the background to say, dude, we're killing it, but I couldn't find my phone. That is how awesome it is going. I'll get the next message.
It's like a puppy chasing its tail.
Right? Look at him. Look at him. It's like two midgets fighting for a football in a gunny sack. Look at him. Look at him go. No one's winning. It's just beautiful, clever, hilarious.
I remember the Golden Books. I think that's what they were called. It's the Golden Books.
Yes.
They had some cute stories and some great cartoons. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Freaking yeah, the Golden Books.
Golden Books.
Hi, MFA. Hi, everybody. Hi, Worm. What's going on, everyone? Hi, Mona Lisa.
Oh,
J Bro. GW. Scott. Grano. Good to see y'all.
Hey fellas, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
MFA here.
How you doing?
Significantly later than I thought you would be on. I tried to catch you at 8, but you weren't there. Happy to hear you on. And thank you for helping me do a grow. Personally, on a personal level. Instead of saying Happy Memorial Day, I will say something about observing the holiday. Thanks for that. How you doing?
Bro, you have more messages? I don't know what's going on. I can't like pace ourselves. I fucking love her because she's so, one of the things she does that I respect, and it's like, and she does it sincerely. Everything she says, that's one of the things I love. everything she says, she means, right? Hey, you're gonna be a fucking A. She'll try to be nice, but A. But if she'll listen to your show, she'll listen to what you say, and she always will tell you, and she'll bring it back like, oh, I learned this. And like, it's not a shine on. Granted, it sucks because all of the learned knowledge comes from John. I just tag along for the, me too. I'm smartish. So takes a village. MFA, love you. Glad you're here.
Love you, MFA. I hear that have a good Memorial Day is acceptable because it's, how your remembrance is happening.
See, I always go, I always now, you should always say that. You're right. You should say, hey, have a good, but I don't wish people a good Memorial Day, a happy Memorial Day. If I see a service member, like I always say, thank you for your service. Always. And it's like and literally, it doesn't have to be today. You go to breakfast, and I promise you, it's not weird. The older they get, the more they want that. If you can shake their hands, if they're old as fuck. But any vets, anything, just you can stop by this table, like, hey, thank you for your service. Hey, I bought your coffees. Like I've done that shit at coffee shops so many times. These dudes are so badass, and they appreciate the fuck out of it the older they get. So it does everyone. It's something you should always remember.
Yeah, and it's Fleet Week in New York now, so there's a lot of sailors around, and
John, and John is like a little girl in springtime. Look at all the sailors around. Yeah, I will go down to the pier and pick them like little flowers. You shall be mine, and you shall be mine too.
Be mine too. Yeah, that's it. Cool, yeah.
Loud and clear, my boy Pete. It's your boy Woody in the building. Hello to you and John L. Peacock. And I'm here. We're here. We're listening.
Oh, man.
Don't forget it. What up, Foxes?
See, that's what he's saying. He just gave us
What
a
a word.
heads up. Don't forget, we're here. We're listening. I know. It's like Jiminy Cricket and my conscience and oh shit, John. God from
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. There we go. Jesus Christ, John. This is where
I got you, baby. I got you.
Thank you. Those are the three. See, rule of three, and I couldn't even think of I gotta write it's like now to the point where it comes in, I can't depend on my memory. I now have to write shit down. Folks, if you want to see a court stenographer who never made it through stenography school try to write jokes out drunk as he talks to John, you should hit that link above this show right now and see our faces, because it's gonna be a show from here on in. I'm gonna use pyrotechnics in the back if I get it right. I'm gonna use pyrotechnics in the back if I get it wrong. Folks, there's gonna be fire. Tune in. Ready, John?
Head on over to Two-Sided Podcast at YouTube. Two-Sided Podcast.
Holy cow, man. Oh no, this is gonna be great.
No, we're going. We got our next lightning round.
Oh, so I don't know if I can. No, I can't. I'm ready.
I made this one easy for you. This lightning round segment is the Safe Comedian. The Safe Comedian, where I give my boy Pete a couple of topics that may not be so safe, and my boy Pete is like a champion, like a pro athlete, like an Olympian, navigating his way.
Right. I feel like you have like you what you need to have, and this is what I'm going to get you. This is gonna be my gift to you. I'm going to get you one of those little Rolodex cards, a little small little box that your mom used to keep recipes in on index cards in the back of the kitchen or in the top drawer or the fucking first cupboard. And that is going to be your lightning rounds, because I feel what you do, John L. Peacock. So John L. Peacock, help me, is you listen to what I say, You hear me, you see me reaching for my third punchline, you see me struggling for the joke. You're like, all right, we're doing comedy that is safe. And here we go. Like, God bless you, John. Holy flowers. We're going to get into it, sir. I'm going to buy you a Shirley Temple after this is done, but we're going to have strong words. I'll see you. Like shirt. Let's do it.
Our first one is anti-war jokes at a memorial service.
Anti-war jokes at a memorial service. Oh, no. Okay, so I actually heard, is this the Goldstein wedding? No, this is not the Goldstein wedding. Okay, that is going to ruin my whole set here. So he was where? Overseas? And he's, I'm going to change this up. We're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We all have to move on. I mean, war is hell. And so is this gig, but no one's judging. Here's the deal, folks. Poor your loved one who is gathered here. The thing, maybe it's not war that killed him. Maybe it was plaque buildup, because we all know he wanted to be a dentist, right? Nope. Okay, that was also the Goldstein boy. Okay. Make better choices, not war, right? Okay. Hire a better agent. Not anyone recommended by your cousin, John L. Peacock. Okay. Yes. That's my time, folks, and I'm out.
All right, Arnold. Okay, that set is gonna kill. That set is gonna kill. We got you at a new show. Okay, so you're gonna do your anti-war jokes at a USO show. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And go.
Murray, you hanging up on me, Murray? Son of a. Okay. USO. Understudies. Oh my God. It's a theater troupe. Yeah, a theater troupe who's really good. Let's go. Yeah, that'll do it. No. Still feel stressed out. Okay. All right. Wow. Never seen so much camo out there. Nope. Murray, I fucking quit.
All right, Eugene. Okay. So you're gonna scrap that. Scrap that. It didn't work anyway. But the morbid death humor that you got, we love it. Everyone loves it. Okay, so we're on a plane. There's a little bit of turbulence, but we really need you to lighten our spirits with that morbid death humor. Go.
Are these the drugs talking, or are we actually on a plane, Murray?
Oh, we're on a plane, and it's pretty rocky.
Okay, then you need to calm down. Here's the deal. We are making A-okay out of this. I promise you. We're doing a good time. There's drinks all around, and we're going to be at the scene of the crash way before any of the ambulances, the mourners, the wreaths. If we make it right on track, we could be right next to where they're doing the memorial ceremony tomorrow. We can be in on that, you guys, right? Am I right? Karen, why are you crying? Karen, look at me. No one likes a sad face. You'd be pretty if you smile. Oh, and now everybody boos me. Why? Because of Karen, or because we're going to die in a plane crash? Okay, guys. Okay, I get it. I'll sit down, except I have no seat. because it was ripped through the door. Okay, folks.
Okay. We love the morbid and death humor, but okay. Last one. You're at a senior living residence. You'll be great. They love it. Go.
Oh, look at this place. Look at this place. Smells like success. Success from the rest home industry. They are milking you old sons of bitches dry. I'm telling you what, you're on your last leg right now, okay? My grandmother, God rest her soul, lived in one of these smut huts. Oi. Drained for every dollar. She couldn't even keep a Percocet in her pill drawer. I mean, I was there every Monday. I took 50, 60, 70, 80,000 of them just to make sure no one was taking them. You couldn't find them. Here's the deal, folks. It's going to be your time soon. I just say, screw the walkers. They're getting in my way. They're getting in yours. That's risky. What do you say? What do you say we all run down the stairs and go out go-karting? Huh? Mr. Johnson's in. Look at that face. Look at his oxygen max steam up. He's breathing hard. He knows. He knows. He knows. All right, folks. That looks like security, and that's my time. Thank you so much. You're the worst, John.
You're getting so much better at it.
Yeah, but it's just awful. It's just like it's not safe comic. It's cheesy shit comic. It's not safe. There's nothing safe about it. It's just inappropriately stupid. There's no safety. Safety is like, hey, who's singing at this fucking rave? Oh, it's Amy Grant at the main stage, and then Michael W. Smith is coming in. It's gonna be super cool, and then the New York Symphony is gonna finish up. It's gonna be pretty sweet. We're all gonna dance our balls off. Wait, what? No. John, should I get these messages?
No, I got
Am
it.
I doing it right?
Hold
Am I
on.
doing it right?
Don't touch your head. Do not touch your head.
Am I doing it right? I put on a headband for this.
I want to hear the story of the agent, John L. Peacock's recommended agent. You please tell me.
What do you say? It's you. Answer. He said, no.
I'm just here for a quick buck, man. I'm just here for a quick buck. I don't care who I throw under the bus.
I didn't hear what he said, and I heard him talking to you. So I was like, why aren't you responding? And I was like, oh, John is like Homer Simpson, where it's like, when I yell your name and stomp on your foot, you nod your head. And he was like, I'm Eli Manning.
That's amazing. You're a little psychic. We'll get to that.
Four out of plate is pretty rocky. I can hear Hip Pete say, "Get the lewds." What? Get the lewds. Favorite part of that movie.
My word, Pete, I'm loving these skits, right? Forgive me if I'm not clapping enough. You guys are fucking amazing. Keep it up.
Oh, right on, man. Hey, it's finally polished shit. What we have done, what we have honed in our friendship has been a conglomeration of failures and shine-ons. So therefore, it's like, you've seen petrified wood. Is that a new mineral? No, that's broken down fucking wood. This is shit. This is Shinola. This is the two-sided pod. Here every Tuesday and Thursday.
And if you can tell the difference, you're a good man.
You're a good man. You're a good man. And I would literally start calling people out by names because I don't know. I have my phone tied to my head. So if you hit that link above and you see the YouTube thing, we're working our technical difficulties out. I think it's personally John's headphones. It could be mine, but everyone says it's mine. So I had to resort to old school. This is what they did back in the day. When old-timey black and white movies were around, we had to tie our phones to our heads with bandanas and make our way across town for shows. It was very, very difficult. No Wi-Fi signal. I have to run down to Star Bronx. We can't use their name, copyright. We're going to get sponsored by them. I don't want to ruin it right now, John.
Right. Well, let's do a shot and jump into our final segment of the episode. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I was waiting. So I was like, can we drink a little and have a little fun here? It's getting a little weird. Cheers.
Let's get fun.
Bing, bing, bing.
Cheers.
Welcome home, John. Glad you're home from work. Oh,
me too.
Oh, that was one of the ones where I poured the cocktail and didn't put water in it.
No,
So my chaser.
You do that so well.
Oh, ooh, my chaser was chaser.
There you go. Drink some water. It'll help.
Don't tell me my business, devil woman. I'll do what I want. I'm a goddamn bro. I should drink water though. Thank you, John. You're right.
Dude, I'll drink water too.
Yeah, but don't put a fucking scrunchie in your bottle. You, sir, are a scholar and gentleman. Look at you. Big spear shirt, sunglasses. It means he's knowledgeable and cool. We should probably read and hang out, maybe by the beach, maybe at the library, but somewhere cool.
Yes, it's my shirt is free will, a multiple entendre.
See, I'm a big fan of that shit. I'm a big fan of multiple entendres. Mine is cheers. I don't even know my name. I didn't do it special for the show. Turns out I was just wearing it when I sobered up today. I was like, what the fuck? Welcome to the party, man. Cool.
It's funny because it really looks like it's a knockoff because it's the the different take of the everybody knows your name, but it even says Cheers Boston, like it's the legit merchandise, and they just switched it around.
Right? No, because she went to the bar. My neighbor went to the bar and got me this. I was watching her cats for a week, and that changed my perception on cats. Some of them are so fucking assholes. I'll be honest. But some are pretty fucking cool. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, but doing that, she's like, she got me this T-shirt. But she went to the bar and did the whole thing, and she went to the church where Boondock Saints. And I was like, "Did you go in? Was there?" She's like, "There was mass." I'm like, "Did you go in? Did you go kneel at the altar? Did you go kiss his feet? Beth, did you kiss his feet? Oh my God. Did you have a beard? Do you have a gun?" Okay, so I was so like, I wonder how many times people have gone up in the middle of a ceremony to do the recreation with trench coats. Because she's like, yeah, here's the church, here's the thing. Like, oh yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Well, and it's Boston, such a drinking city. Like it was probably locals who would have done the recreation.
No, we're wicked respectful around here, son. We're wicked respectful. We don't fuck with the churches or nothing, son. Wicked respectful.
While we parked the car over at Harvard Yard.
I spit my drink up at you like a man because I can't spit take into my camera because I don't clean anything and I won't dare to do it. Harvard Yard in the car, he says.
Wicked smart. Wicked smart.
All right. accent camps later. This is fun time, John. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. Let's get down to the history of breweries. According to Homer Simpson,
Here we go.
prophetic. You are prophetic.
That
beer is the cause of and solution
and
to
cure to
all of life's problems.
problems. That's one thing. Like, you want to start quoting Bible verses at me, John? Homer Simpson, episode 2, verse 38. Yeah, I think I know. The cause of and solution to all of life's problems. Thank you, beer. Okay.
Some sociologists and anthropologists will even one-up Homer and claim that beer may be the origin of civilization.
Okay, because when we go at the cradle of civilization, the early man, they did have fermented rice, or usually it was rice. Indigenous people would have rice. I don't know where you're going with this. How far you want me to go, John?
You are right on ball.
No, if there's one thing I know about is the great history of alcohol. I'll talk about Queen Victoria. Like, I will give you quotes. I will go ahead, but I don't want to steal your thunder. And that is what I should have, folks. If you were here for the hour and a half where I was vamping and I did my own, if you're here and you don't know where to go to find out the where to go to hit another, and I did that for myself for a good hour and a half. Sober, it was a lot better. I could have done this because I did a whole brewery segment, John. I don't know if you heard or if there was a flawful in your ears, but let's go. I'll let you continue.
The first civilizations emerged along the great river valleys of the world, the Tigris and Euphrates, the Ganges and Indus, the Yangtze and Yellow. The river valleys provided the fertile soils needed to grow the grains that humans were busy domesticating. The assumption had long been that this was a pursuit of stable food supplies that drove us forego our hunter-gatherer lifestyles and cultivate those grains along the rivers. But some scientists now say it wasn't hunger, but thirst that sparked civilization. A main motivation for settling down and domesticating crops was probably to make an alcoholic beverage of some kind. Archaeologist Patrick McGovern told The Independent in 2010. People wanted to be closer to their plants, so this leads to settlement.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, okay, anyone can survive. And at that point, if you're doing like, yeah, I got a salsa garden in the backyard. I can handle that. The kids can handle that. I'm doing the fields to get fucked up so I can work the fields and have the kids do the garden in the backyard. It's a secular thing. It's a very specific lifestyle. Come on, folks.
As best as we are able to determine, brewing emerged more than 5,000 years ago in the grasslands of southern Babylon between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The soils supported wild grain plants.
Sorry, one of my favorites. Go ahead.
So these grains left out in the rain will sprout, essentially starting the malting process and developing enzymes inside the seeds. Someone coming upon a sprouting grain store probably hurriedly went to make bread out of the grain before all the nutritious starches was lost of the growing plant. But upon heating, the starches, now full of enzymes, liquefied into sugars. And once people had sugars, they knew what to do with them.
Well, the cool thing is that when they had the grains, they would use them differently. That's how we got like the sprouting grain bread. Once they realized how you still let a grain sprout and not ruin it and turn straight to sugar. It's still in its plant form without sugar. Once we learned that process of how we've already cured and used yeast to make it rise and then introduce the seeds. Oh, dude, my bread you know what? Fuck you, keto, or carbonara, or carb free. I don't know, John. I eat bread. I guess that's the long and short of it. I'm good now.
This beer culture made its way into Egypt, according to Dr. Delwyn Samuel, who did pioneering work in the Department of Archaeology at the University of Cambridge. Brewing was well established in the Egyptian pre-dynastic period. By the early dynastic period, 3100 to 2686 BCE, it had become an important part of Egyptian culture. Eventually, beer, far healthier than water, became the everyday drink of the Egyptian people, from the pharaoh to the lowliest peasants. Great grains.
Go ahead, finish it.
So the great grains were stores were built, and the Egyptian economy was underpinned by bread and beer. The god Osiris held in his hands the very stuff of life: fertility, death, resurrection, and the brewing stuff. Depictions of people drinking beer from jars through long straws cover the inside of Egyptian tombs, and we still have beer drinking straws today.
So go back. No, go back. So Osiris, he was the god of, and you said beer making stuff. So go back to the beginning. What was that list again? Osiris was who?
Sorry, the god Osiris. I don't have that in my notes. But what he held in his hand was the stuff of fertility, death, and resurrection, and the brewing stuff. So it was
fertility, death,
yeah,
resurrection, and
grain.
Brewing stuff.
Yeah, grain, which was the brewing stuff.
Okay. So life, death, resurrection, brewing stuff. Okay. And you are summarizing that, because the picture that he actually had that you're saying, it was like, oh, a baby, a dead man, a little spirit, and some wheat or something. No?
Yeah, it was a sickle. It was a symbol of that they recognize as resurrection. So that's the death, resurrection, and the grain. And I believe the life was the same as the grain.
But if you look at that, so one of the things, that whole fertility, death, resurrection, and grain or brewing stuff. So yeah, it's used for beer, but if you take grains and you use it for bread, if you the yeast, what you use, how you have the starter, how you pass on the starter, all the things, it can be fertile. You can have more where you're growing, the yeast is growing. It can have death if you didn't give it enough air, if you let it sit too long. You can have resurrection where there's a starter that has been dead, and you put it in the right environment with the right thing. It could be all about bread, bro. It could be all about beer. Osiris could be a very gentle drinker. I'm just saying, maybe we just figured out a key to some goddamn, maybe Nick Cage is going to call us for the next adventure. I don't know. Who knows?
The Egyptians brewed from several grains, including barley and the ancient wheat type Emmer, E-M-M-E-R. The texts of the time mention many types of beer, and some of them clearly designated for ceremonial purposes.
Just
they had dark beer, sweet beer, thick beer, friends beer, garnished beer, and beer of the protector.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. There you go. Talk again.
Sorry, did I cut out?
Completely didn't hear you. You did the 1, 2, 3. I heard nothing. So I was like, is it me? Should I take my bandana off, my phone out of my head? No, it's you.
Okay, so the text mentioned that they had many types of beer. Is that where I cut off?
You didn't even hear that part.
Okay, so Egyptians brewed from several grains, including barley and the ancient wheat type Emmer, Emmer. Texts,
yes.
okay, so texts make mention of many types of beer, some of them clearly designated for ceremonial purposes. They had dark beer, sweet beer, thick beer, friends beer, garnished beer, and beer of the protector.
Friends of the protector.
Friends beer, garnished beer, and beer of the protector. 3 different types.
Beer of the protector. Beer of the protector. Well, wow. Well, wow, John. So my takeaway from this, what I have learned thus far, and I know we're not done, but I'm taking notes and I'm researching this and I'm sending my assistant out to get some Amir, because we're going to brew a friend's beer and we're going to garnish it up and then we'll be protected. It'll be the beer protector. Like, no, I'll work on that. Like, I don't need all 3 in one. Like, come on, Pete. Come on, get with the program. Use them sparingly. You wrote them down. Use them like a goddamn champ. Continue, John. I'm ready.
The gods who guarded the shrine of Osiris partook of, quote, the beer of truth. For funerary purposes, they needed a beer that would last until the afterlife and provided tombs with, quote, beer that does not sour and, quote, beer of eternity.
Oh, dude, that's the sour mash shit. That's like, so it's just how, so it was already bad, and so it doesn't go bad because it's already bad. Like, it's not going to ferment anymore because it's fermented. Like, because I love, that was one of my jams, bro. Okay, I take back everything I said. The Wipeout was great, super good. Bosco, super good. But sours, man. People didn't like them, but a good sour and they're way too expensive, and you can't get drunk on them. Like, don't even try. Don't even fucking try. It's just stupid. And they're like $16 a bottle, like a 16-ounce bottle. You can get them at good liquor stores. You can get them at good bars. You can get them at nice pubs. But their choices are not too good. The liquor stores are the best. They're even better than Besmo. But still, like, the alcohol percentage is like maybe 20. And then like 16 ounces, and you pay like $22. Like, all right, I got 2 bottles and I paid $50. Huh. This is like drinking out instead of drinking by myself. This is stupid, but it's delicious. Yep. It's like an aperitif. Like, it's like after you're like, I shouldn't drink anymore. Like, I shouldn't eat anymore. You go and get like a Mexi Melt from Taco Bell. Like, that's not food. It's like a little.
Okay. It's count. A digestif. It helps settle the stomach.
Right. It's mainly take a bowl, take a Mexi Melt, and a sour beer. And I promise you'll feel better in the morning. My boy Dr. Pete prescribes it. Okay, go.
So massive breweries were built, and both grain and beer were offered in payment for common labor. It is worth noting that brewing was largely the work of women, a tradition that lasted throughout various civilizations until the end of the Middle Ages in Egypt.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, bro, and this is one of the things, if you look back through history, like, yeah, they're talking hunter-gatherers, right? And they separate it into these 2 groups, right?
Right.
Hunters are, basically hunters, like, you use weapons, right? You use weapons to defend, you use weapons to hunt food, you use weapons, like, pretty much to attack. Weapons. I'm a hunter. Gatherer, like, oh, look, I do weaving. I do vegetables. I do gardening. I do brewing. I do, like, oh my God, you're the Eagle Scout and this is a fucking Drungo. Like, great, fantastic. That's why The Last of the Mohicans was the last of the Mohicans. Well, not that, but you get it.
Right. So the oldest still functional brewery in the world is believed to be the German state-owned Weihenstephan brewery in the city of Frenzing, Bavaria. It can trace its history back to 1040 AD. The nearby Weltenberg Abbey Brewery can trace back to the beer brewing tradition to at least 1050 AD, so 10 years later.
No, that like, and one of the things, folks, I don't want to blow your like big reveal at the end, but one of John's sources was Beer Fest. We learned how to drink Das Boot when we were at the Abbey, and they were 1050 a boot, Das Boot. It was really good.
The Zatek brewery in Czech Republic claims that it can prove it paid beer tax in 1004 AD, though it has not been verified enough to own the claim over Weihenstephan.
All right, so we got Bavaria. Yeah, it's the Germans, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have Zolstek, right? In Czechoslovakia, in now the Czech Republic. God bless her soul.
All part of the Black Forest of Bavaria. It's all the same region.
Oh, it's very good. This seems convenient now. Now we just use different voices. No problem. Listen. So he goes right to Russian. What the fuck is that about? Man, in Bavaria, in 1040, we had very, very good times drinking the beers. And our friends in the Abbey, they were like, oh, yeah, the beer is good, yeah. And we said, yeah, the beer is good, yeah. And they came over and I will be honest, he shared a good time, gave them the recipe. 10 years later, what happened? Bam, Abbey, look at them. Not as good. So here we are, yeah, fighting, all fighting. And all of a sudden, Sartak comes in and says, oh, but I apologize. They say, oh, no, oh, we've been here since 1004 AD. That is how they sound. They're very, very stupid. I do not like them. Anyway, no pedigree, no beer, no flavor. Anyway, are you here for the beer fest? Come down. The booth is ready for you. Good.
So the Germans enacted the beer purity laws of 1855, which only allowed certain ingredients to go into beer and kept it pure. Weird that the Germans would do that. Anyway, that still remains. Those laws still remain today, and that's why their beers are not varied as opposed to American beers.
No, sir, this is one thing in Germany. We say all beer has to have a nice barley, the grain, 9 blue eyes, is blonde hair, and a little bit of rock and roll. Yeah, it's good.
The early breweries were almost always built on multi-stories, with equipment on higher floors used earlier in the production process so that gravity could assist with the transfer of product from one stage to the next. This layout often is preserved in breweries today, but mechanical pumps allow for more flexibility in brewery design.
Bro, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like in the 90s, we had to use gravity bongs like higher up to do different things. But now we have fans that plug in that are 9 volt, that are fucking 2-stroke. Like there's a great opportunity, but we still go old school sometimes. Like, get out your buckets, get out your tubes, let's get high. Yeah, like the Germans, yeah, very good. Yeah, it's Black Forest time. You like cake? It's Black Forest. Anything else? No, there's nothing else. Black Forest. Continue.
Early breweries typically used large copper vats in the brew house, and fermentation and packaging took place in lined wooden containers. Such breweries were common until the Industrial Revolution, when better material became available, and scientific advances led to better understanding of the brewing process. So today, almost all brewery equipment is made of stainless steel.
Well, John, I don't know if we're going to take a hard left here, but I'm so glad you brought up the Industrial Revolution, because before we were on, I was trying to get my groove going, like fight music. I know I'm going to just fucking freelance, no, I can't, like, there's nothing free falling. Like, no, I'm going to do Daddy's on his own for the next hour and a half. So I was trying to get pumped up, and I was listening to Jethro Tull, and I realized, like, Industrial Revolution, cotton gin, nice. That's how the beers are made. I'm glad I'm ready for this. Anyway, folks, Jethro Tull, inventor of the cotton gin, highly recommend looking that guy up. You learn something. I'll bring it up next week. John, go on with your copper barrel wooden finishing stations.
So brewing in America dates to the first communities established by English and Dutch settlers in the early to mid 17th century. Dutch immigrants quickly recognized that the climate and terrain of present-day New York were particularly well-suited to brewing beer and growing malt and hops, two of beer's essential ingredients. And so a 1660 map of New Amsterdam details 26 breweries and taverns, a clear indication that producing and selling beer was popular and profitable trades in the American colonies.
And that's New Amsterdam. That was in the colonies, in where we call now New Amsterdam would be in New York, one of the boroughs, right?
Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
Exactly. So go kind of like, hey, any of you guys want to get some fucking beers or some shit? Hey, what's your name? Hey, my name's Johnny Wooden Shoes. I'm Dutch. Hey, Johnny, why you got that accent? Hey, I'm New Amsterdam. Welcome to the party. You want a drink or what? All right, let's go. Flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. And that's how the hustle starts.
So between 1650 and the Civil War, the market for beer did not change in America a whole lot. Nearly all beer was stored in and then served from wooden kegs. While there were many small breweries, it was not uncommon for households to brew their own beer. In fact, several America's founding fathers brewed their own beer, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, etc.
Yeah, but the problem, Thomas Jefferson, he wouldn't do friendship beer, and he wouldn't do the beer of fruit, right? Thomas Jefferson was more of a garnished beer, and that's what I disliked about his brewing style. If I'm going to go for a founding forefather and a drinking partner, I'm going to go with a good old Ben Franklin. He may not have held political office, folks, in the way we know him, but he liked kites, and he did fuck with the beer of truth and the beer of protection. So I highly recommend a Ben Franklin brewery stop if you're in Boston, if you have the time. That's my boy Pete giving you vacation trips for Boston. And I'll say it better next time. Back to you, John.
In 1810, America's 140 commercial breweries collectively produced just over 180,000 barrels of beer. During the next 50 years, total beer output continued to increase, but production remained small scale and local. This is not to suggest, however, that brewing could not be profitable. In 1797, James Vassar founded a brewery in Poughkeepsie, New York, whose success echoed far beyond the brewing industry. After several booming years.
And that was Poughkeepsie. What was the brewery? Do you know?
No, because it no longer exists.
Is it delicious? Should we try and find them? Do you have a bottle? Do you have a connection? I'm very good at networking, John. Give me a number. All right. Sorry, nothing? Okay, continue.
After the booming years, Vassar ceded control of the brewery to his two sons, Matthew and John, following the death of his brother in an accident and a fire destroyed the plant. Matthew Vassar rebuilt the brewery in 1811, but it petered out. The next brewery we're going to talk about is quite famous. In 1829, the Pennsylvania craft brewery D.G. Yunling and Son opened. It still holds the prestige of being the oldest continual American brewery today.
Right, and it shares its name with my favorite macaroni, Kraft. That's all I got for that one, John.
Do you know Yunling? I guess you're west of the Mississippi, so they're not out there yet. Oh, they actually just went west in Texas, but they're expanding. They've just started expanding west of the Mississippi.
I don't know who you think I am, John. I live in a weird community where people get beers and like will import them black market bullshit of like, oh, here's the fucking what's the shit, I can't even think of them anymore. I've been drinking liquor for so long and not fucking with the beers. Where's the Abbey, the and I want to say it was from the Abbey. There's two different ones. There's shit. It's gonna come to me in a hard minute. Anyway, the people out here.
Duvel? Is it the okay.
Little something and something. Shit. Anyway, I can't move on. But all the people out here are fucking greater and lesser are the two things. Are the two different beers, but I forget. It's gonna come to me. But people are so hardcore, like, oh, I went on vacation. I brought this, or my friend did this, and they shipped me back a case. So yeah, I had Youngling, and in my liquor store that I would get shit from, he would buy things for people, and like, oh no, I have hookups, and they'd come in like, it was like a drug deal where you'd have to put money down, like, yeah, I'll get you 4 22s. I'll get you a case of 22s, but you have to pay me $250
right
up front. Like, Jesus Christ, it's kind of legal, but I feel like I'm in a crack den and I don't have opium and I don't feel comfortable. Would it be cool if I smoked some opium while I'm waiting in line? No? All right, I'm just gonna eat some Doritos. Don't eat the Doritos? Okay, I'm gonna hold them. I'll wait. Cool.
So the total beer production increased from 3.6 million barrels in 1865 to over 66 million barrels by 1914. It was a huge expansion.
Million?
Yeah. So 3.6 to 66. Yeah. Huge increase. In 1910, brewing had grown to be one of the leading manufacturing industries in America. Yet this increase in output did not simply reflect America's growing population. The number of drinkers certainly did not rise during these years. They just started consuming more.
Yeah, well, shit was getting bad, man.
Yeah.
Again, we were like the goddamn Egyptians. Yo, you got some Emmer in here? Yeah, I need some garnish beer stat. Now, because I do not want to remember any of this.
And then 1919 happened. prohibition in the form of the 18th Amendment outlaws the sale of alcohol in the United States. That's January 16th, 1919. It goes into effect. And then, it was ratified then. It goes into effect January 16th, 1920. On March 23rd, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt signs into law legislation permitting the sale of 3.2% alcohol beer. And then in December 5th, 1933, the 21st Amendment repeals the 18th Amendment. That's so crazy. So in those years, from the amendment that said alcohol is not illegal, or to the amendment that says it is illegal, that repeals it, there are 1920. There are two other amendments that happened, and basically we haven't had a constitutional amendment in almost 100 years.
John, I mean, why fix it if it ain't broken? You know what I mean? Here's the deal, buddy. When you get this broken, what can we do? Can we rise up as one people with one voice? Can we back one group? Can we understand what the other party is saying? Can we see each other as a goddamn human who just likes to drink a fucking beer? It doesn't have to be a garnish beer. It doesn't have to be a fucking beer of truth. It could just be a friendship beer. It could just be a friendship beer, right? And maybe that friendship beer can lead to a little more fucking understanding and a little something else. And maybe like we stop doing this bullshit fucking dance. Like it's a pissing contest. Like we get it. Everyone's important. Everyone has power. We get it. We are the longest running nation thus far, almost. No, we are, who has not disintegrated into a different kind of republic, a different conglomeration, a different unity, a different thing.
Different government
style. But I won't even say government, because I don't think there will be a government if it does disintegrate. There'll be a government. There'll be a government. Hey man, you seen the postman? You seen the road? You seen the road, John?
A monarchy is a government. A dictatorship is technically a government.
Yeah, but different city-states? Was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome a government? No, depending on who had gas and where were you driving, baby. You want to go to fucking, hey, this is Waterworld, and we are out of budget money, so you're going to have to swim through your paycheck, John.
You better grow those gills.
Yeah, you better piss in that bucket, hope it drains correctly, because that's all the water you're getting today, baby. For you and your plant. Woo!
Well, local government's still a government, so the city-state's still counted.
No, man. Like apparently,
Tina Turner was still a governor.
No, 100%. But apparently, you haven't watched enough of The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead and know how real governments work in the post-apocalyptic world, John. You don't read Cormac McCarthy. I know you've seen No Country for Old Men, but what about The Road? Read The Road. Don't watch the Viggo Mortensen bullshit bastardization of the story. Read The Road like a gentleman and a scholar that I know you can be. You ginger-bearded ginger, fuck you. And I say that with the utmost respect of fuckeries and gingers.
So during this time, in 1930, American Brewers Association was formed. They then vote for referendum of national prohibition. And in 1932, 86 million gallons of near beer was produced. Now, a side note that I don't have in my notes, but I know this, is that Yunling was able to survive as a brewery because they were producing stout. Stout was considered a medicinal thing for, I'm completely serious, for conductors of trains to help them stay awake. And so it was legally allowed in small production to help the conductor of the train stay awake.
Why didn't you just use laudanum like all the other housewives who drive trains? No, but that shit, like what you said is the beer. I didn't write it down. The beer, in my mind, it was the beer conglomerate, and it's like all these guys were hammered, holding hairless cats, struggling like, yeah, see, we're gonna get them all here, no problem. See, it's another group. If you have the money, if you have the time, if you have the thing, right, John? Because you skipped over, like we're now in 1932, right?
Yeah.
So Queen Victoria, 1819 to 1901, who's Queen Victoria? She said, "Give my people plenty of beer, good and cheap beer, and you will have no revolution among them." When you have leaders who understand, when you have people who understand, and now you have people who are lobbying for the beer industry. Anytime you have money backing a thing, like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna work. We're a bunch of goddamn animals. Fuck yeah, I love things. Beer? Fuck yeah, I love it. But it's another factor. And it's like, oh, no, don't do it at home. That's why they did prohibition. That's like and now still today, if you have moonshine, you can do home brews, but you can't have distilleries in a lot of places. Anyway, you can take my distillery when you can take it from my cold dead distillery.
Warren Harding was president during this time. He loved his booze, loved his beer, and got beer from Yuengling, though obviously illegally he was getting that medicinal stuff.
Fuck Harding. Don't get me started on Harding. He went to the Kellogg Institute. That motherfucker had affairs in the White House, in the anteroom, in the closet. He knocked up chicks. The Secret Service would pay a chick. Like, don't get me started on Harding.
Yeah.
John, is this an American history podcast, or is this you just saying things that making me upset about things?
So in 1933, as the repeal of prohibition has begun, there were 31 brewers back in operation by June. December is when it officially took effect. And in 1934, 756 brewers were back in operation. So a good resurgence, right?
Dude, it's the same fucking thing. Weed is illegal. Dispensaries are bad. Oh, it's legal now. Here's all these other ones. Like who pays the money? Who pays the bills? That's why we got to get khakis, John. We got to get money so we can buy our way to the top, baby. That's why we get to hit that like and you give us a thumbs up. It doesn't matter to you. Rate us XXX. Tell your friends. Tell that producer you know in San Fernando Valley. I've been trying to work with him for a while. And
so
in
1940, the beer production was at the level of pre-prohibition years, with half the number of breweries that were in operation in 1910. So less breweries, more beer.
I sense a monopoly coming.
Brewers were required to allocate 15% of their production for military use in 1943. Barrel tax keeps on raising. I'm skipping past that because it's not really interesting. But from 1949 to 1958, 185 breweries closed down or sold out. So by 1950, 407 breweries were in operation.
Huh. And that's across the U.S.?
Yeah, across the U.S. So in 1934, right after 756, and then
and now we're at 470. Huh.
Yeah.
AT&T, can I put you on hold? I'm your one provider. Would you like beer? You can get me or T-Mobile. Please hold. We'll fulfill your drunken needs soon. Please keep holding. Your business is important to us. Let's drink tomorrow. Bullshit. All bullshit.
1951, Anheuser-Busch of St. Louis builds a new brewery in Newark, New Jersey, starting the trend of expansion of breweries. And Anheuser-Busch in 1953 buys St. Louis Cardinals baseball team.
Right, but they started the fucking thing they bought. God damn it, John. I didn't write it down and I can't remember what you said. Can you start that again and take a pause between those two facts?
Sure.
And give me a pause for the break?
1951, Anheuser-Busch of St. Louis builds a new brewery in Newark, New Jersey, starting the trend of expansion of breweries.
And also, Anheuser-Busch starts buying the trend of making New Jersey a real shit place. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch. What else you got?
And then Anheuser-Busch buys the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team in 53.
Oh, thanks. The only thing that came out of the Cardinals was Ozzie, the shortstop, from 84 to 89.
54, the first 16-ounce can is introduced by Schlitz. Gotta love Schlitz. In 59, aluminum can is introduced by Coors of Golden, Colorado.
John, let's go ahead and make sure we cross all the ponds. It's aluminum cans. John, be proper. If we're talking about Schlitz, it's aluminum cans. Thank you very much. Let's get pissed on Schlitz. Aluminum cans, 16 ounces. Get fucked up now. Pip pip.
Cheers, the banquet beer. Anyway, so I said 1950, 407 breweries were in operation. In 1961, 11 years later, 230 breweries are in operation, and only 140 of them are independently run.
Okay, and that's in 61. But we're not to the point where Sam Adams does their commercials about independent breweries today about, hey man, we're here for you. We're an independent brewery. But we're not there yet, right? Okay, no. I'm holding out hope. I think it's going to be the best times coming up yet.
Because a lot of these prohibition laws were still in effect. So in 1982, big jump, for the first time since prohibition, a brewery is allowed to open that not only sells its beer at its own bar on premises, but it's allowed to serve food. So they were not allowed to sell their own beer on their premises, and they were not allowed to sell food. So no tap room, as we know it today, was ever around legally until 1982.
Yeah, man, but all the good shit happened before 82, man. I wasn't there for it, but I've heard stories. My dad says before you were born, things were a lot better. So I'm guessing 82 is when things turned sour.
In 83, in January of 83, 51 brewing concerns are operating a total of 80 breweries in America. This is the low watermark for breweries in the 20th century.
But that's 83, yeah?
Yep.
Bro, look at the playing field you have in 83 though. Right? So what are you doing? You're doing coke from the 70s, and you're doing weed to mellow it out.
Right.
And you're like drinking Manhattans or like fucking pink ladies or like blended drinks. So you're fuck beer. Like beer is like, ugh. I just got off the goddamn disco floor, and disco's not dead. And I'm coming to my bar, and I don't want a beer. I want a pink lady. Because I'm going to keep the party going, is what I say in 1983.
Right. Also in 83, the top 6 breweries of America, which were Anheuser-Busch, Miller, Hellman, Stroll, Coors, and Pabst, controlled 92% of U.S. beer production.
All right, but I get to be the battleship next time we play Monopoly. That's one of my rules. Is you can be the battleship. This time, I'll be the car. See reverse psychology. Everyone wants to be the car. So like the next time, I'll be the battleship, and we're not going to play next time because I'm going to flip the board halfway through because you own all the goddamn breweries. Fuck this.
In 84, 44 brewing concerns were operating a total of 83 breweries. So 3 more breweries were around from the year before. And then 94, it becomes legal to put the alcohol content of beer on its container. It was not legal before then.
Okay, so John, I'm guessing you have more to say to this, but I want to know. You know the answer, but right now I'm having a thought process. Like, wait, is that a good thing for them or a bad thing for them? Because beer drinkers like, fuck this. I need stronger. There you go. There's your lead-in. All right, I'm ready. So now it's like, oh, it's 2.9%. And no one's like, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna drink my pink ladies. Those are 17.9. This is bullshit. So then the beer companies in 94 decided that IPAs with 22.4% and the IBUs of bullshit. Continue.
Right. So California, your home state, begins the year in 94 with 84 microbreweries or brew pubs in operation. That's one more than there were breweries in the nation 10 years earlier. So California starts a trend.
Well, I mean, we're pretty good at a lot of things. We do traffic well. We do freeway shootings pretty good. We do wildfires. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we're pretty good at that. So call me if you want wildfire advice. Anyway, I don't want to digress anymore, John. Continue.
And then 95, approximately 500 breweries are operating in the United States. And they are estimated to increase at the rate of 3 or 4 per week from then on. And so this, because of the last remnants of the Prohibition era laws of not being able to make your own microbrewery, which they called bathtub brewery. So not only people at home, but people who wanted to start a microbrewery could not do it until the 80s. With a big push from Carter, by the way. I didn't talk about him, but he really pushed that. And though he wasn't successful in his era, it really helped to make that happen a couple years later. By 95, they expand. And now there's so many more. And it's grown. So a number of the operating craft breweries continue to climb to 2021, reaching an all-time high of 9,118, including 1,886 microbreweries, 3,000 plus brew pubs, almost 4,000 tap rooms, and 223 regional craft breweries.
I can't even keep these numbers straight, John. I started writing the first ones you did, but you're like a math teacher regurgitating numbers and fucking fractions to me, and I just can't keep up. I say keep Portland weird. Let's have more brew pubs. Nice.
So from 595 to 2021, over 9,000, it's a bit of a jump.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump because it's the same thing we're going to see once you legalize and regulate it. That's the thing that the government does, which is great. It's fine. But it sucks because they're saying, all right, we need a piece of the pie. You're doing it legally, give us this money. So they call it sin tax. Booze, cigarettes, anything you don't need out here has a California tax.
Mm-hmm.
New York does the same thing. I'm sure there's a lot of states, but I know for a fact because I've had to pay them both and they're both bullshit.
Right.
I only know that because I've yelled at many a bodega fucking owner. This is robbery. Then don't come and take my cigarettes then here. Fuck. Okay, I will. Sorry, my mea culpa. But yeah, the whole thing is this is what everyone wants. How are we going to invest? How are we going to capitalize on what the people want and say, like, yes, you can do this. Perfect. And you can look at this about anything we've done politically, John, anything. Talk about any group and you politicize it. So it's a drinkers group, right? It's a marijuana group. It's an LGBTQ group. It's a incarcerated family support group. It's a whatever it is. Here is a group, and if you get loud enough, or if there's money to be made. So first, if there's money to be made, you're gonna be number one, and you're gonna get picked up. And that's what's gonna happen with weed. Is we're good because the money is gonna be so much bigger. Like look at Colorado, dude. Like fucking ridiculous. They have the Green Mile. They have same with Washington. They have the Emerald Mile. They're the first one. Like Jesus.
Right.
And they have so much money, state money that's going specifically to like, we don't know how to spend it. And they're like, their budgets are having to increase year by year to do like, well, we're going to do this and build this school and do these different things. And granted, they're fucking up and doing new facilities and like, oh, let's do a new prison. Let's do a new administrative building. But they have the money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you look at this and it's like, okay, so you have the booze. Here's an amendment, illegal. Here's a great amendment. No, not illegal because we want it. And there was enough parlay happen. Now we're shutting it down because it's a monopoly, but too many people were shouting because we have our entire nation who drinks and everyone likes to do home brew. Cool. So now, okay, great. People were loud enough and now we can do this. So now it opens up to all these micros and all these pub rooms and tap rooms and great because they could make money on them. They could tax them differently. They could zone them differently. And cool, we have now tax dollars for our regions, for our counties, which is great. But at the same time, like they're not interested unless it pays them, which is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. It's a pay to play game, man. It's a goddamn pay to play game. It's like you download every goddamn free app on the Apple Pod, and then all of a sudden they say, "Do you want more gems? It'll cost you $4.99." It's like, John, what's our credit card number? Ours? I'm like, yeah, John. Free will, right? And he's like, this is gonna cost me. It's gonna cost you $4.99. Give me the card number. And then it's a no-go. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's what I have to say about it.
So the rate of expansion has decreased in 2020 and 2021. Conceivably, though, they don't have the numbers yet, and also 2022 because of the pandemic, but it's still increasing. It's not decreasing. And so this longing for the micro pubs, the micro breweries, the craft beer breweries has just taken over the U.S., where right before Prohibition, there were so many, it went down to basically zero, and it took this long, 100 years later, to get back to its original state.
I just want to be different like everyone else, John. I just want to drink in the micro pubs, ride on a bicycle team, wear all the same uniforms differently than the rest of the community. Just be different. Go to pubs, like, try new beers, ride new trails. Like, be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why we're supporting all the microbrews, all the tap rooms here on the Two-Sided Pod every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. ish Pacific, 11 p.m. ish Eastern. Call it what you will. Just don't call me late for dinner. Take that one to the bank.
So our sources for this episode have been the first segment, PBS, History.com, the Library of Congress, and Time Magazine. The second segment, Economic History, Beer and Brewing.com, OutsideOnline.com, Wikipedia, craftbeer.com, beerhistory.com, and the Brewers Association.
And my references in this show have included blue bandanas, keep your phone on your head, shitty headphones, make the show weird to start with, and you're all alone in the world, like John leaves you for the first hour of the show. Come on back, folks. We got more to tell.
So let's do a shot. And while you're getting that ready, my boy Pete, this show has been quite weird for you. You had to riff for an hour plus. You have to have this weird bandana around your head to tie your phone to it. Is there anything that you want to take a second look at, a second opinion, a second glance at? This is Pete's Retraction Corner.
Yeah, no, first off, you don't put goddamn words in my mouth, John. That's number one. Nothing's weird for me anymore. I've seen the face of the devil. I'm okay with whatever happens from here on out. Okay, buddy? You don't get to put words in my mouth. Riff for an hour? Oh, shit. How do you think I stayed out of jail so long? Not my pretty face. My mama says I have good features, but it ain't my pretty face, John. It's all about that song and dance, baby. And now, a bandana on my head, that just led me to talk about my new project, Pete Head Bandanas. You can buy them on our Instagram app. It's two-sided podcast. I don't even know what it is, but you can buy them now in the merch store, Pete Head Bandanas. Get them in your favorite color because we don't discriminate. Pete Head Bandanas. Keep your phone close to your head.
Keep your phone close to your head.
Also places here in Arizona where you can have your own distillery and your own brewery and make your own shit. But it is illegal for you to sell it to anybody. So, I mean, endless supply of your own personal stuff. Come to the big state of AZ. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Let's just go crazy.
Girl, I'm only coming to AZ if you can get me an OZ, and then we hang out for maybe a ZZ. I was trying to figure out that's an overnight trip. That's a fortnight, as they call it back in the 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, ZZ if by fortnight. Come and play with me. I think that was the rhyme that saved us from the invasion.
That's where the old moonshine or white lightning or Mountain Dew came from.
Well, them Duke boys better learn to grow some wings because they ain't going to fall out of here. Woo-hoo!
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
Think.
Thanks, Foxes, for listening. Phone's in my head. I think you only one. Any more messages? You got anything to say to me?
Nah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, you want to apologize?
Go to the green room.
You want to apologize?
No, I don't.
Okay,
no,
cool.
I don't admit my faults. You know this. We've been talking about this for a while now.
No. Just in general for being a ginger. I know you can't help it, but I like it when we end like, I'm sorry, I'm a ginger. It just makes me feel better. I don't give a shit about you, John. This isn't your journey. This is my journey. I started an hour and a half before you. I'm like, this is my labyrinth. You are my David Bowie. Yeah, jump magic jump, John. You apologize for me to bring you. No. All right, see you in the green room, buddy. Take my phone on my head.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We have our open chat show on Stereo every Tuesday, same start time as tonight. So if you want to join us or you want to throw some topics out there, email twosidedpod@gmail.com. That's TWO sidedpod@gmail.com. And remember to join us in the green room. We're going to go 40 after the hour. That's about 10 minutes for our after show wind down. That's a wrap for tonight. I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
The man of the hour, the one in the tower, the one who needs no introduction, your friend and mine, my boy Pete from Southern California.
And this was our show. You can listen to our shows wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also join us live on the YouTube channel, Two Sided Podcast, and also on the Stereo app every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, as we talk about the two sides of life, the fun and the serious, here on Two Sided. I love you, Pete.
I feel like an old woman because I have my phone to my ear talking in a restaurant. Go on, John. That's why you need my boy Pete's bandanas. I love you, John. Good luck. Hey, how about if you fix yourself in post? How about that? Good luck, man.